right about what we say.
Right.
Let me give you an example. I'm kind of a numbers guy a little bit. Okay, now this is really what we're talking about. The truth is, there's a player talent bridge between the NFL and the XFL. And here's what I mean by that. There's 2,600 players on 32 NFL teams right now. Rosters, 63 per team, 53 on the active roster, and 10 each on practice squads. Then comes the bridge. There are groups of veteran players that are on the outside looking to get back into the NFL that are considering playing in the XFL. There were 864 players that did not make an NFL roster or practice squad, cut by NFL teams on August 31st. Of those 864, over 200 of them were drafted by XFL teams. That still leaves over 600 players on the bridge between the NFL and the XFL. Players who are still holding out in hopes of sneaking on the NFL rosters are not considering or entertaining any other league opportunities. Oftentimes, the makeup of these rosters in a starter pro football league consists of veteran players that have been out of the NFL for a year or more. Their practice squad eligibility has run out. They've exhausted all NFL options and decided to take a look at alternative playing options. Okay? But being a first-year league is difficult, but here's what the XFL has done. They deserve a lot of credit because they've convinced some players and agents to go ahead and cross over. Guys like Cardell Jones, Josh Johnson, Landry Jones. And the NFL has signed some of these guys back, like Josh. Okay? Now, all of them could have sat on the sidelines waiting for any possible NFL opportunity that comes along, but they've decided to take the XFL option instead. Where the XFL's strongest for a first-year league is a quarterback. The XFL's convinced these guys like Philip Walker and Chase Linton to join. The question of the quality of the players on the XFL roster is, has the XFL got the best of what is left or the best that they can get? It's a big difference. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. That's us, Scott, in our show. We are right in between as this stuff plays out, both in social media and in different arenas like the medical profession and also a pro league in the XFL, which is going to be fun and find its niche. That's what separates us. We can let people know about that bridge and be able to articulate that better than anybody out there. And that's what I want our audience to understand. And so when I talk, guys, this is shameless promotion, but I want you to go to my YouTube channel and go to Bill Winters. Go to YouTube and type in Bill Winters. Make sure you put football in there, okay? And you'll see my YouTube channel with the games on there. But the reason I put them in there is, let's give an example. Joe Burrow, okay, won the Heisman. I played ball with his father. Well, you get to see his father play. And when people look at the past and they see it on a video, which is what the young kids do today, they get their information through videos and, they're a lot quicker. In fact, we like to joke around. They all have ADD. I look at the Arizona Cardinals. They're giving their players every half hour a cell phone break because they want them to stay focused. Whatever we got to do to adapt to where we're going to be going, I think you and I will do that better than anybody else out there. And I just wanted to let you know that, about the XFL and, where we're at as far as whether or not they've gotten the best players. But I think it's going to change dramatically over the next, 4 to 6 weeks, particularly at the end of January. And you and I will be cutting edge on that. And I also think it's fun to talk about the medical aspect of things. And I also think that we'll be able to articulate a lot with social media, and we'll be able to separate the pretenders from the contenders. And I was really happy to see Jenkins admit that he was wrong. That showed me a lot because he sure looked like a knucklehead, before that, and very insensitive. And then he was contrite by saying that's how we talk in the hood. But he was smart enough to recognize it. And let me talk to somebody that has a mentally challenged child. And then when he heard all that stuff, he kind of, the man has a soul and he's smart. All right, and he was able to, apologize. And I think that, that had a lot to do with him getting back, with the Saints. And I'm happy for him. So a guy turned a negative into a positive. So that's going to be, I think that pendulum's going to swing back to the middle a little bit, and that's exactly what we're talking about in this case with him. I also think, we could talk about sleep apnea. I looked at it and I just said, I don't have it. I don't care what the test says, whatever. And then I'm talking to a guy that I work with on a weekly basis that has it, and then I'm up there going through it again and I'm reconsidering my position. So, I think that in the end it's all going to be in between, and our viewers are going to appreciate us as we move forward because of our ability to articulate these bridges, as we like to say.
All right, I'll say this, okay? And then we're going to do some NFL picks tonight. All right, Bill? We're going to stretch out a little bit. You predicted a week ago that Janoris Jenkins was going to get signed by somebody else, so you were dead accurate there. He's too good of a player to be unemployed, and the New Orleans Saints obviously must have heard you, and as a result, he's there for the stretch run to try to make that defense better. So I'll give you your prompts there. And, yes, we will be talking about a wide...
Scott, let me just say this to you. There's the organizations. The Saints are great at picking up what I call damaged goods. They have Drew Brees. He was damaged goods. Teddy Bridgewater, damaged goods. It doesn't matter whether it's a physical injury or whether it's some kind of off-the-field, snafu. They've been great at picking up what we call bargain basement players. Then you have other organizations that kind of shoot themselves in the foot. All right, like the Rams, where they don't spend the money the right way.
Right.
All right, so, I think a lot of it has to do with the character of the player. And I'm sure the Saints saw this guy and said, this is kind of a knucklehead thing he did. This guy can't be that insensitive. They probably talked to him. He probably admitted he was wrong, and he opened up, and he actually, stepped up and did the right thing. And so they know they have a good character guy. He made a mistake. And people are forgiving as long as people, are sincere in their apologies.
Right. Well,
and at first he wasn't, but now he is. And I don't think it had to do with anything with money. I think it was genuine. And then you have other guys that make mistakes.
Right.
Hopefully, we like to see them get fixed. I'd like to see Antonio Brown in the league. But, he's got to learn. Colin Kaepernick, I don't think he's ever going to get an opportunity.
No way.
Okay? So every handles their situation is different, but it's a learning process for our audience and everyone else because a lot of people are first-timers at this stuff.
Well, there's only 4 teams that I view as second-chance damaged good teams. New Orleans, New England. I know Dallas has certainly been one of those. And believe it or not, one team that I'll actually go ahead and put in there was the Cincinnati Bengals for a period of time. They got productivity out of them. But we're going to leave it at that. And we're going on some NFL games, Bill. And we're going to start with the team that you live near. The Houston Texans are playing in Tampa, another area that you have ties to. All I'm going to ask you to do is give me the who's going to win the contest.
Well, I'm going to take the Texans because they got to win this game to win the division. And they're going to go to Tampa and take care of business. I will tell you this, Jameis Winston is crawling out of the hole. If you look at, he's the total yardage leader in the National Football League. But he also throws a lot of picks. And I just don't think he's consistent enough. And I think that the Texans are a good, gritty, tough team. And I think they're going to go beat the Buccaneers in Tampa. And I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. And it's going to be fun to watch. And I like the Texans in this game 34-27.
Okay. I actually like the Texans in this one. And I'll tell you why, because I don't feel confident that the Buccaneers have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and that's the difference when you don't have your 2 top targets. Where will he get his yards somewhere else? I do like the fact that my gut feeling tells me that Bruce Arians and Tom Moore would probably want to keep him another year to see if they can fix him a second year, but I'll go with the Texans.
Jameis?
Yeah, that's my gut feeling, Bill. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I do too. The only thing is, it's time for him to get paid.
Well, okay.
So it's going to be an issue of whether Jameis, they're going to probably call him in and they're going to have to compromise. It's like that bridge we talk about. That pendulum's going to have to swing back to the middle because they're going to have to pay him a lot of money. And when you have a quarterback that's been mediocre, but he's coming on, it's going to be tough for them to bail on it, but he's probably going to have to take a pay cut. And it depends on whether he's going to do that or not. All right, so a lot of it's going to have to be how he plays in this game and the last game. So this is going to be great for him. And, I'd love to see Jameis be produced. I love the Bucs. I used to be a season ticket holder. I go to 1 or 2 of their games every year. And I know a lot of the guys have given up on him. that played for the Bucks. I know there's some guys like myself that are rooting for him because he's a Florida kid from Florida State. And he'd be great for the state, but you got to stop throwing picks. But lately he's been playing lights out, and they're winning games. But I think they're going to go. I think the Texans are going to beat them. And then it's going to be tough, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the offseason.
Yeah, I agree with you. Texans will beat the Buccaneers. All right, we'll go on to the next game. New England Patriots hosting the Buffalo Bills. Who you got?
All right, I'm going to take New England in this game. Why? Because it's at New England. New England is tough at home. I think they want to get this division out of the way. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. And I think Buffalo is one of those teams that's learning how to win big games. And I think they're going to go up there and play New England tough, but they're going to lose the game, but they'll be ready for the playoffs, and I think it might come in handy for them in the playoffs. So I like New England in this game, 21-17.
Yeah, I actually like New England 17-16 over in this one. All right, the other Saturday game, there are three. You got the Rams and the 49ers. The 49ers will be the only team in the Bay Area when the regular season is over with. So I actually myself like the 49ers to win. They're going to be mad after losing to Atlanta. I think like a 24-16 type of game.
I like the Rams. I like the 49ers in this game 30-7.
Oh, you got them winning decisively. All right. The game that I'll be at, Candy will be at on Sunday, Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Atlanta Falcons. The two cities are 5 hours away, but boy, are we looking at the unemployment bowl with Doug Marrone against Dan Quinn. Tom Coughlin won't be there to see it. Who do you like in this one?
They're playing in Atlanta, correct?
Correct.
I think Atlanta wins that game 28-10.
Yeah, I think Atlanta will win 16-13. The Detroit Lions against the Denver Broncos. Now, nothing's going right for the Lions yet. Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn will not be casualties as they've been retained. But the Lions are going to the mile high. Will they come back with a mile low on the airplane after they lose up in the Rocky Mountains?
Denver's going to win that game 30-14.
Yeah, I actually think that the Denver Broncos win 27-13. All right, the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns, always a interesting matchup. I used to call it the Art Modell Bowl. Once upon a time, we thought it was the Baltimore Browns, but Commissioner said no. Cleveland gets to keep the name. Baltimore gets an expansion team, but we'll just call it the Art Modell Bowl, only in Cleveland. Who do you have?
The Ravens win 31-20. I will tell you this. There were two wide receivers for the Browns right now that are going through some heat, and I like the way they're handling it because they said they both want to be back in Cleveland next year. They haven't said a word. And that's a good sign of some guys that have learned how to be a pro. So I'm happy for that. I think the Browns have the Ravens number. I think they just play the Ravens stuff. They won't win. So I think the score will be something like 31-20 Ravens clinch. I just think the Browns are learning a valuable lesson because this is a team that is starting to mature a little bit. They've gone through an awful lot as far as the learning curve. And I think next year they're going to be a good team, but not this year. And I think the Ravens, kind of smoke them a little bit. But it'll be a fairly good contest, but they'll pull away in the fourth quarter.
Well, I
31-20.
Right, I like the Ravens 37-17. So the Ravens look awfully good. They're going to look good in this one too. Carolina Panthers against the Indianapolis Colts. All I can tell you about this matchup is I have a family member that had Christian McCaffrey on his roster, and that was not a good sign for me during the semifinals in our family league. And, of course, the Indianapolis Colts have Jacoby Brissett. I hear that a lot of people don't think he'll be the quarterback of the future for them. If I had to make a prediction, I'd go this way. I wouldn't be surprised to see Marcus Mariota become a coveted player for the Colts unless they get another guy through the draft. But we'll talk about the present. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to walk in Indianapolis and beat the Colts by about 7 points. I would say 27-20.
I totally disagree on this one. I think the Colts are going to win. I think the difference is their offensive line play. Remember, T.Y. Hilton is a big part of their offense, and he's been out. And then Jacoby Brissett is their quarterback of the future. I don't think Marcus Mariota is